Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Traders Arena. This is Kevin here, and I guess it's Tuesday, January 16th, right here at the New York Stock Exchange close, where I have been streaming on YouTube every day, every Tuesday at this time, just talking a little bit about crypto and whatever else I guess is on my mind. I don't know. It seems kind of slow today. Uh, kind of getting a slower January start, I guess, to getting back to this trading business. Maybe. I don't know. But welcome if you're here live with me right now or on recording later. Again, like I said, every Tuesday here at New York Stock Exchange close, I'll be streaming. And it's a good time to, if you guys want to look at anything in particular, have any requests, be happy to look at some names and maybe I can find some names that I'm looking at and hopefully have a couple trade ideas by the end of it. Most of my attention's been on trading Solana shitcoins of late, so I'll definitely look at some of those today. And I suppose, up on the screen here, I've been working on our website, cryptotradersarena.com, and our good friend Hanya, and also a member of our community, has been making some killer gladiator images like this one here on the screen, and a bunch more actually. So we've been having fun just kind of putting together this sort of Crypto Traders Arena branding and graphic design stuff. And I simplified our website down to, basically just this image. And then when you scroll down, really, it's just a link to join our Discord and a couple links to some of the YouTube content we make every week. But really, if you want to get involved and hang out with us, the best way to do that is just by joining our Discord and popping into the free side of our server, which we're working on kind of making it a little more fluid as well and a little bit easier to onboard if you're new. But our goal is basically we're just trying to build a community of solid traders. And if we have to teach new people along the way, we're doing that. And I'll just want to, have our group solid. And, basically the way we operate these days anyway is all hanging out and trading together. And it's a lot easier when you have a million eyeballs on the same things. And it's a lot easier to keep track of all these names when you have a bunch of people looking at it. So we try to share ideas on a daily basis. And then, of course, we're doing shows like this, just kind of reaching out to the public and kind of sharing what we see in the market and how we're going about our trading activities. And this show in particular, I'd like to maybe get into the weeds a little bit more with altcoin investing. On Sundays, we also do our Road to Financial Freedom altcoin show, which is more like kind of bigger market cap, top 100 or so market cap coins. So I probably won't focus on those as much on this show and maybe try to look at some of the smaller stuff and definitely some more on-chain trading and just kind of like the up and comers. Hopefully we can identify some, whatever's shiny, new and hot at any given moment. Seems like the last month, a lot of the action's been on chain with Solana, especially all the shit meme coins. Maybe we're in like wave 2 of that right now, potentially. And maybe we're running out of steam a little bit. So, of course, I guess just kind of zooming out and thinking about the cycle and where we're at in the cycle right now. All last year we basically talked about this kind of accumulation year idea, kind of bumping along the bottom of the range for altcoins and hopefully presenting buying opportunities heading into what would hopefully be some sort of bull rally this year into the Bitcoin halving and after the Bitcoin halving. And I think everything's on track for that still. At this point, it's just kind of a question of like, do we get a dip by a buyable opportunity in altcoins sometime in the near future that will kind of set up the next rally? Because obviously the last quarter of last year and into January has been pretty uppy for altcoins in general. And a lot of them look like they have to come back down to earth a little bit. And I think just looking at Bitcoin, the context is that we just had Bitcoin run up into a super key level, right into a fundamental driver event with the ETF approval from, I guess, a week ago. Yeah, because it was Well, actually, last Tuesday when I was doing the show was the fake news when the SEC got hacked or whatever, and somebody tweeted out that all the ETFs were approved. That was actually right at this time last Tuesday. So here we are a week later, and the approvals did come out. And man, if this isn't a perfect example of just sort of like how a chart can sort of depict the fundamental narrative of the moment. I mean, it's hilarious how like they ran Bitcoin straight up into 61.8 right into that news event. And then of course, 61.8 being the beginning of the short reload zone and usually a level where you can expect a reaction of some sort. And clearly the reaction came in. I mean, just, they took out this key high back here, the 48K key high, and then right into 61.8, right on the news event. And of course that was an approval. And so far it kind of looks like a sell the news type thing, right? Last week's candle, pretty ugly, with just kind of basically what we would call an FU, right? Like there's whatever liquidity was sitting here against this high that was taken. And then they just, the market promptly got rejected from that level. So pretty good example of 61.8. What happens when that level's hit. And it also, this is a weekly chart. So like we're talking about the whole crypto cycle here. That was like a super key level. So fascinating to see that happen. So I think the question now is like, I mean, ironically, the price is just sitting now right at the 50% level again. And of course, now we have like a month and a half, 2 months of just basically oscillating around the 50% level, right in the middle of the range. Not a good place to be a buyer. Either way you slice it. I mean, you're basically right in the middle of the range here at 43,000, 42,000. Hey, Andre. Yeah, I'm going to look at crypto stocks today, actually, for sure, because I want to actually work some bids and get my bids sorted out for those. So I'll look at those in a minute, actually. That was one of the things I wanted to look at because the Bitcoin miners actually pulling back pretty harshly right now, and hopefully have some chances to buy soon. And I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin for too long because I actually just talked about this on Sunday too. But man, what a level! Like and hilarious that we're just back to the middle of the range again, 50% level. Probably see price be pretty wild and volatile through here, as we just continue to oscillate around this 50% level and it figures out the next move. I mean, the same story is still the case of there's plenty of downside open air to be filled on Bitcoin if it does want to roll over here. But to be fair, I don't think you can throw in the towel on the weekly chart. Just in fascinating level, which it's not uncommon for 61.8 to get hit, have a rejection come in just like this, and then it sets up again and pushes higher into the reload zone. So there's no reason why Bitcoin can't make new highs again. And I don't think there's a top here yet, but what a level. I think it just really begs the question of, I mean, on a daily chart here, just real quick, I'll just point out that there is a cheeky little OBV divergence that's confirmed now. So that's a pretty solid sign for me that maybe a pullback is coming. There's a M and OBV right there as a price, FU'd up into that 61.8. And so like and you can see the RSI divergence is also in, but and there's, just basically this FU up into 61.8, no M top or anything. And actually the funny thing is there's not even a 3-bar fractal top here yet because we actually haven't taken out that low here at whatever that is on Coinbase here is like 41,444. We haven't actually lost that low with any of these candles. So we don't even have a 3-bar candle top here. So no top yet, but it just, pretty typical 61.8 rejection for the moment. And I think really the only thing that we can, it's just the question of has this Bitcoin rally run out of gas a little bit, and can there be a pullback? And if there is that pullback, altcoins are probably going to get pulled back harder. So like that's going to be our buy opportunity. So Bitcoin doesn't have to come off that much for that buy opportunity to be created, in my opinion. Like again, like. There's like what I would think of as pretty strong support all the way down at 32K. That's pretty far down. That's a pretty big move. But if Bitcoin were to make it even down to there, that doesn't change the trend at all here on Bitcoin, but that would just serve up a lot of reload zones in altcoins. So personally, I'd like to see that a little deeper pullback here, set up altcoin buys, and then whenever Bitcoin finds a higher low somewhere in this area and decides it wants to, even if it's just going to be ranging here for a little while, wherever the next W comes in down here, hopefully we're loaded up on altcoins at that point. That's kind of my general thought. And crypto stocks, actually. Let's see, before I jump into those, is there anything else that I should say about? I mean, we could look at like Ethereum. Not a lot that has changed. Actually, I saw Ethereum was botting up earlier in our class. We were doing our Capio 1 class earlier today, and I noticed that like a sort of Brian Beamish TRI bot here in Ethereum was setting up here. It's now looking like it's starting to fire here. So it kind of looks like Ethereum actually could start crushing higher. And it's also funny too that just right on that 61.8 tag on Bitcoin and into the ETF news, basically it just seemed like the smart money switched over to Ethereum, and Ethereum took off right after that announcement, which I think is, I mean, it's interesting and just kind of funny. But you could see Ethereum looks a little bit uppy here. I don't think we have that same divergence in Ethereum. Yeah, so Bitcoin, like kind of through here had let me go back to the daily chart. Yeah, on this move in Bitcoin, there was a pretty clear M top in OBV, whereas on Ethereum here, OBV is still pointing straight higher and making W's. So like this bot seems active actually. So that's calling for like 3,073 on Ethereum. So I mean, $3,000 for Ethereum is not out of the question here at all, and that's just really the 50% level. So Ethereum's still playing around in like the dump chaser zone here, but looks uppy. So I guess the attention's on Ethereum now. And even Paul was saying in the New York session earlier today that probably hunting longs on Ethereum was probably the game plan for the day, and not necessarily thinking about Bitcoin as much, and really Bitcoin maybe might even be a short on moves back to the top of the range. So it's like a little early to be saying that. But I don't know, probably better off hunting longs in Ethereum than looking to short Bitcoin, for example, right now, or even long it. But it looks like that little bot's kind of happening. I don't really trade the bot. It's just something that we were talking about today. And if you don't know what the bot is, then you got to check out the Brian Beamish and therationalinvestor.com. That's a setup he invented. Anyway, I'll move on to the Bitcoin stocks here. I'll just and I don't know. I'm just kind of broadly kind of thinking about these markets here a little bit, and that transition to Ethereum. You can also see it in the ETH to BTC chart, which had a nice FU of the lows here and then just rocketed off that low. So I don't know the bigger picture though. I don't see a bottom here really. I don't see like a nice W in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So I don't know if this is just sort of dead cat bouncy at the moment, kind of an engulfing, big ass like engulfing candle sort of, but really it's just kind of bounced hard off of that FU low. So I don't think you can call bottom here yet, but nonetheless, it does look like there could be a range up here, and we hit the bottom of the range here. And now, this ETH BTC chart might end up here at the top of the range as Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin a little bit, which I suppose would mean altcoins were going to outperform Bitcoin a little bit, which is not really in line with that sort of pullback I'm hoping for. But it's just like that funny thing where if Bitcoin, if Bitcoin dumps hard, altcoins will dump hard. If Bitcoin goes sideways, then maybe like their altcoins have a better chance at sort of just continuing up. But I think any sort of extreme move in Bitcoin to the downside, which could happen at any moment, would actually bring those altcoins down to viable levels. So anyway, let's look at a couple. I think I have my Bitcoin stocks here, so I'll look at some crypto stocks and then maybe some Solana memes, and then we'll see where we're at after that, I guess. And my whole thing on the crypto stocks is my attention's kind of on this BTCM for some reason. I like this one. Not really for some reason, but so we'll talk about the miners first, and then we'll talk about like Coinbase and some of the crypto related stocks. But I think the Bitcoin miners are an interesting right now because they're getting wrecked. I mean, they pumped pretty hard, and maybe it's probably better to start with the bigger one. But I'm still going to start with BTCM because I already have it up here. And this is one that I kind of like, and it's smaller than like I think it's smaller than like Riot and Mara, but anyway, from a chart standpoint, one is just I mean, you can see how hard. I mean, they ripped this thing hard, and I did bang doubles out. I even had a swing trade going on this name too. And it's just coming back down. So anyway, with this BTCM, I do have my first bid right here at the top of this gap, which is basically at Mountain Man 61.8. I kind of would say that's a little more aggressive, but I'm happy to reload on this, and I do want to. I'm going to keep like sort of dollar cost averaging into the rest of the year if I can buy good levels. Cause look at this thing, man. For one, look at the upside on this. Now to be fair, it's probably been adjusted for splits cause they did split. I mean, they reverse split back here earlier and I guess that was the end of last year. Yeah. December 22nd. But nonetheless, I mean, this thing has like massive upside. So I'm just going to keep nibbling down here. But my first bid, I mean, the way I see this is, this kind of well, I mean, the W's are in now. The only thing about this chart that I don't like is I hate when the W consolidations end up coming in up higher here, like 61.8. Of course, we like to hunt them down by 78.6. But it is what it is. And there's even some cheeky gaps way down here, like at $2 and stuff that might have to get filled. So that's why I'd say this is a little bit more aggressive to just go ahead and start nibbling here at 61.8, which is 352. But nonetheless, that's my first bid to buy back. And my old average cost was down here at 305, assuming that's 100% updated. I've been kind of buying and selling this thing all through here, to be honest. But so I kind of had some trades going on, and I had just my sort of sell half on a double investment plan. Anyway, so I'm gonna, basically anywhere in reload zones is cool with this one for me. But I wanted to look at on FinViz really quick because there's a reason I like this one more than the other ones, and I just want to double check that because I haven't actually looked at it in a little while. And the numbers here can change, of course, as they mess around with the stock and dilute it and whatnot. The thing that sticks out to me about this guy, so these guys are bit mining, and if I remember correctly, they even make an ASIC miner. They're actually making hardware too. So they're a mining company that also has an ASIC miner coming out or already out. But a couple of things is right away, like there's only 11 million shares out. They did reverse split it a year ago, but still that's super low. In fact, they'll probably even issue more shares, which could be negative, but it's just got a low share count compared to the other ones. And then the other thing that I always thought fascinating is they have a lot more cash too. It looks like it's gone down a little bit, but they have $2 per share in cash, and the price to cash here is 1.89. Under 2 is good. And even the book value is under 1 here, $4.78 per share book value, which I suppose might include the value of their Bitcoin that they're holding. And it'd be interesting with these miners to just see who's holding how much Bitcoin these guys are holding. Because, of course, like the funny thing about these Bitcoin miners is obviously if Bitcoin goes up, then these things are automatically going to get drug up with them, with Bitcoin. And usually the whole point of trading these is they outperform Bitcoin too. So if you're like in the US and maybe have like a Roth IRA, or not that I'm going to give tax advice by any means, but like if you have a retirement account where you might want to trade stocks, these Bitcoin miners are a great way to take advantage of crypto in your retirement account, and they wildly outperform Bitcoin, or at least they did last cycle. But just comparatively, like, so this one has a little bit better book value and cash value than something like Riot, for example, which is another well-known miner. And Riot and Mara look a lot alike. Like this one's 206 million shares out, so way higher share count. And look at that price to cash, 5.28. Remember I said the last one was under 2. So from a cash standpoint, that other company is in way better shape than this thing, which is trading at $11, but only has a cash per share value of $2. So that's why I don't really. I mean, I still want to buy all of these actually. Like I'm gonna try to nibble on all of them, but that BTCM one, I don't know. Consider if you're kind of doing what I'm doing, which is going to be buy a little bit of all of them. Don't leave that BTCM one out because I'm looking for that one to be. We'll see what happens. I might be wrong, but anyway, any hopefully I'll be reloading here pretty soon on this one. So there's one that's kind of like my little favorite based on my shit research. So I'm not saying I'm not saying that my research is that good. But I do like this one. So anyway, I'm bidding on and I did bang doubles out on several of these, so it's like reloads for me. But like BTCM, and then the other one I already have worked a bit on is this Wolf, which is similar. Terra Wolf, or yeah, I think is what they're called, Terra Wolf. I mean, point being though, look how hard these have come off in the last few weeks. I mean, they did have a pretty impressive rally, you know, basically out of reload zones here. Like this one came down. I didn't trade it back here. I missed this first rally. And then just when I saw it coming down into 78.6 kind of areas, I just started buying it, banged a double out. And then now it's coming right back down in my level. And they've all many of them have these gaps sort of right around here. And in my opinion, anywhere in that gap is pretty okay to start buying these things back. But 78.6 is sitting at $1.30, and that's where my bid is at the moment. I think that's a pretty reasonable place to just kind of hunting around that 78.6 area. Man, that was like straight up and right back down. So, and of course, if Bitcoin has to roll over, these things might take a while to set up again. And this one doesn't really have like a weekly W. I mean, it kind of does, except the low's lower on the right side. So you sort of have a base working here, and clearly they brought it down into that base and found support the first time. But it might take a while. You know, it's never a bad idea to wait for a new W if you want to just be more patient. But I want to, like I said, I want to just kind of nibble into all of these Bitcoin miners and have a little bit of all of them. So I like 78.6 in general. So there's two that are like practically buyable. Then some of the other ones, like CLSK is definitely one of my favorites too. I don't know about, I mean, fundamental wise, they all kind of look the same except for that BTCM. Like in terms of just the numbers on FinViz. So that one's kind of the one that stands out. All the rest are similar, but like CLSK is a clean spark. That's another one that I've been banging doubles out on already too, but this one has a really nice W working and also coming pretty sharply off here. And I do still have some bids, but I'm going to update my bids here. Like I like 78.6, like I was saying earlier, and you can even see the little gap right there below 78.6. So $4 or so into that gap. I like that. I personally might get a little more aggressive here. And let's see, last time around, I bought this W. Actually, I bought it back here, and then the W level came back in right off my level. So that was like 314 or something, 316, and did get doubles off, and then didn't reload here because I had my bid. I think, where was my bid in the past? Let me see here. I guess because it was, well, either way, when the fibs were drawn down here, I had my bids, yeah, probably down at 78.6. You could see how they didn't want to bring it down there. It was like Mountain Man was the last bottom. So I didn't get another car going on this most recent rally. And I do want, this one's also, the chance of this outperforming Bitcoin seems pretty damn high to me. I mean, this one also has tons of upside here. And, you know, if you're buying anywhere down $6, kind of $6 area, then, I don't know, maybe, you know, 10x down the road would be a test of the highs here. So, but this one looks very much based, right? And so any dips into the reload zone, I think are fine with me. I don't know if I'll hit Mountain Man here. I kind of think that's a little bit too aggressive at 638. Probably don't need to rush into it there. I mean, it could bounce if the way it's coming off so hard. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a bounce off 61.8. But I'll probably wait till lower. Just see what happens. Any W's that come in the reload zone, though, I'd be happy to buy. But I think in terms of bids, I may or may not still have a bid down here working. And then if this thing really wants to fall apart, there is like a gap down here, which actually does look filled. Not fully filled. There's like a little gap down there that could be like the super sniper level. That's what I had drawn here from a while back. I don't know if they'll get down that far, but in general, I'm gonna be hunting around 78.6 on these. So in this case, 429. CLSK, Mara and Riot look a lot the same. Also coming off hard. Could update my fibs on Riot here, or this is Mara. Sorry. And the thing I don't like about Riot and Mara is this is sort of that similar higher consolidation right here. So there's still kind of like some open air into this like V bottom. This wasn't really like a great W. I mean, there is a W there now, but it's sort of V bottom looking to me. If anything, there's like a big head and shoulders, which actually hasn't, that's kind of funny. There is like this giant head and shoulders that looks like that, which I suppose the target was probably a little higher. So I don't think we've actually hit that target yet. But nonetheless, this chart's a little uglier to me than like that CLSK, for example. But the same thing applies. Like, I mean, there's a gap right at Mountain Man, so I suppose the more aggressive level would be to step in at 1375 against Mountain Man, which is it's okay. Like maybe if you sprinkle your bids a little bit and try to get filled a little lower too, because there is a lot more downside here, you know. But I'm gonna try to buy this one in green box closer to 78.6, which is the W breakout, right? And they've already, that was the level last time around here too. But so I'm gonna buy a Mara there. Riot is almost the same chart. I guess Riot didn't actually make a new high here recently. Now you can see how they these both Mara and Riot, they bottomed off 61.8 last time. But no, I think now still this one definitely isn't a weekly W. That's very V bottom looking. And there's even these gaps are a little bit concerning because they do have a tendency to get filled. So like there's that gap way down there. So I don't know if Bitcoin really falls apart. I suppose those are like the cheap stink bid levels. And I mean, you buy, I don't know. Let's stick with 78.6 here at $7. And I guess, do we have 10xable? Yeah, 10x is like up to the highs. So of course, if Bitcoin 10x from here, it has to get to 450 or so thousand per coin. So hopefully you can see how these could easily outperform Bitcoin by a lot. Maybe Bitcoin 10x's from here. What would happen to these if I feel like if Bitcoin 10x from here, these are going to go insanely high. And like put them into context, like even the like CLSK, or sorry, this is Riot, but this was the COVID low here in March of 2020, and how high did it go? It went, let's look at that. I mean, off of the lows, it's 15,000%. So that was in the last Bitcoin rally. And I think Riot, I don't know, again, FA wise, like, I already looked at Riot here, sort of high share count, low cash position, not much debt, thankfully. But Riot and Mara looks kind of the same, I think, if I remember correctly. Mara's got also 200 million shares out, 220. A horrible, even worse price to cash, 10.2. So they're not sitting on lots of cash. Hopefully they're sitting on a lot of Bitcoin, which I suppose would show up in the book value, which they don't particularly have that great of a book value here either. I do, going back to that BTCM, I kind of like that company too, because they do, I mean, it might be a scam, but I believe they're making their own hardware, which I think is interesting. And they also, B miner, I think that's what they call it. Yeah, see, they're making their own, their own ASIC miner. I wonder what it says here. Well, that's for like Doge. So I don't know. I'm not going to get like tons into that, but I just, for some reason, this one just kind of sticks out to me as more interesting. But like I said, I'm gonna try to just kind of nibble on all of them. And to be fair, they're all correlated, so it gets back into that whole. It's not a diversified. It's only diversified in the sense that I don't know which one's gonna perform the best, and so I'm just gonna take my allotted capital and spread it across all of them, and just try to sell halves on doubles and get free positions and reload. And I'm already working on second cars on. Unfortunately I missed Riot and Mara, but like the CLSK Wolf, BTCS, which isn't a minor. Haven't talked about that one yet. BTCM I got a double on. So anyway, starting to build second cars on several of these. Coin. Well, that's not true. I have a free position in Coin, but not a second car. But the point is, I'm just going to try to own a little bit of all of these crypto stocks as one sort of. It's just an extension, like an extension to my just regular altcoin investing. Sell half on a double type strategy. So anyway, there's a couple. Let's keep moving on though here. Hey Andre, oh, there's two Andres in the chat here. Can you please look at SDIG? Oh, that's a miner I don't really know about. Yeah, let's look at that one right now. SDIG. I guess I don't really know that one. Oh, look at that. Stronghold Digital Mining. That's funny. I don't actually know this one. I'm going to add it here. Well, I mean, right away, tons of upsides. That's always good. Got to zoom way in to even see what's going on. It looks like it's a... I mean, hell, this one already came all the way back down against the lows. It's probably already at 78.6. Looking at right here, I'll just really say there's no weekly W yet technically here because we made a new low. I don't know, a couple months back. And classic FU, they basically just took these two lows out and turned it and ripped it. And looks like doubles were had for people buying that. Bottom there, and now it looks like it's gapping down even this week. So if you're just willing to take nibbles at good levels, then I wouldn't fault anybody for just buying 78.6 right here at $5.19. The bid is $5.16 right now. So I don't have a problem with that, but at the same time, it's not necessarily bottomed yet. There's not really a structural bottom working. And it looks like OBV fell apart pretty good here too, and a lot of seller volume stepped up and caused that dump. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but I like location, and I like the fact that it has tons of upside. I just don't think it's really showing a bottom yet. So might have to make new lows down the road. And it's already, the other ones still have room to fall and still be inside their ranges. And so if that happens to the other ones, this one might make new lows. But that's cool. I'll add it to the list for sure. And let's just look for fun at this stuff here. Oh, this one's got really low shares, so it probably split relatively recently, reverse split. This one looks a lot more like BTCM, actually. Well, not very good. They don't have a very good cash position. Horrible, actually. But their book value is pretty good. Low share count and pretty decent insider ownership. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I just, it doesn't look as strong as the other ones in the sense that there's not really a very good bottom here. Like, I love this CLSK bottom just because, nice wide W back here, and it's already been tested once and found strength. It looks a lot more bottom to me than this SDIG. But either way, it's still damn good location. So thanks for the idea. Hey, Paul. Constantine, good to see you. Anyway, let me see if I can keep moving here. Try to cram in a bunch of names. I'm just winging it as always here, but these are actually all bids I want to get working myself. I've only got bids on that Wolf and BTCM so far. I don't think I might have some old bids working on CLSK still. What other miners I got in here? I guess Hut's kind of an annoying one. It didn't perform as well. It got caught up in a reverse split right right in the middle of the rally here. Yeah, so they split back on December 4th, which is funny because sometimes with these reverse splits, it'll show in the morning that it's up like 400%. This was a 4-to-1 split, I think. And so it was up 5-to-1. So it was up like 400 or 500%. And I was like, holy shit, fuck yeah. And then quickly realized it's not. It's just that TradingView hasn't caught up with the split yet or whatever. I mean, you can kind of see the split because my old levels, these were double I'd gotten and stuff back before the price was adjusted. So now this thing's worth $10 when it used to be 2 or whatever. So anyway, this is hut mining. Very similar chart to like Riot and Mara. And same gap, man. They left those little cheeky gaps all the way at the bottom. And this almost looks like you could hit it like pretty soon. So this one doesn't look that good to me, to be honest. But nonetheless, I'll still just be doing the same kind of 78.6 type nibbling. I don't love that this doesn't already have a W, so it might be prudent to just wait for a new W. But either way, I'm going to just kind of do my little nibbles here and just sort of work my way into this. And also probably, they're all kind of like 10x back to the highs, basically. So if you're buying 78.6, a test of the highs is going to be about 10x. If Bitcoin can really, really rip, then maybe these go higher. We'll see. But I don't like the way this one looks. Nothing about this looks like a bottom to me yet. Even OBV's completely crapped out here. So it looks like it's probably got to come all the way back down. And I don't know how the reverse split will specifically affect this thing, but maybe I'll look at it on FinViz as well, just for fun. Hut 8. Wow, this one has like no insider ownership. It's a little better, but the key metric must be how much Bitcoin they're holding, which isn't really shown here very easily. But that'd probably be the thing to look up with these, is see which ones of who's hodling, like who's sitting on a shit ton of Bitcoin that's going to be worth a lot more down the road. It's almost like shooting fish in the barrel. If you're like, I hate saying that, but it is true. If you're a Bitcoin bull and you believe Bitcoin's going up, and I think there's a pretty reasonable chance that Bitcoin will be higher in the future than these stocks. It's like, it's a kind of a cool metric because it's like, well, they almost are forced to go up if Bitcoin goes up, as long as they can stay in business. So if you can buy them at good location, they I shouldn't say anything's easy, but they're definitely worth considering. I'll just say that. Especially you trade them in the US, potentially tax-free through your retirement account, or even though no commissions, hell, it's even cheaper than crypto now. The irony. It's hilarious that it's free to trade stocks now, but of course you got to pay some fees on crypto. And hell, if you're using like Telegram bots and shit, you're paying 1%. Like the Telegram bot we've been using for Solana takes 1% per transaction. Anyway, don't forget about the crypto stocks if you're interested in stocks. That's all I'm saying. That covers most of the miners that I have. I think there's probably more. These are just the ones that I kind of had on my radar. Let's say I talked about Mara, Riot, BTCM's my favorite. Wolf, I talked about. Clean Spark, I talked about. Basically just hunting 78.6 on all of them. And then some of the ones that aren't miners that I like would be like this BTCS is one. This is like a Charlie Lee. Charlie Lee from Litecoin is a director of this company. It's just, they do like payment processing and stuff, and they're like staking Doge and Litecoin and stuff, or not Litecoin, but I don't know about it. I can't remember. Not necessarily Doge. They have like a whole staking platform and some sort of mobile app, and I don't know anything about the company so much. It's just Charlie Lee's involved, and I think Melanie Pump. Shit, now I have to. The funniest thing, it just reminded me that this is. Let's just look at it because it's funny to me. BTCS. How do you not buy a stock when let's see here. When these two people are on the board, you kind of have to buy it. Like, let's see if I can find them. What the hell's going on here? Of course, their website probably doesn't even work. I love when like they're like, it's bad enough when like some meme coin doesn't have a website, but sometimes you'll see these stocks and their websites are down and shit, and you're just like, oh my god, how could I buy this thing? I shouldn't waste time looking. But there's a woman named Melanie Pump, which just it just sounds funny because they're gonna pump this thing, man. And Charlie Lee. Um, anyway, I don't know why it's not even letting me click on it. I don't know. I guess. Anyway, what am I doing? I just wanted to find Melanie Pump. It's just an old joke from the last time I talked about this stock. But anyway, fuck. Uh, anyway, Charlie Lee's involved with this thing, and Melanie Pump's involved, so that means I want to be involved. I actually did get a double already. And this one's, I mean, I don't know if it's particularly showing like a great looking bottom here or not. I mean, there is a weekly W in there. There's this kind of little W action. It's not my favorite. And there's also kind of like a V bottom. It's kind of ugly here, but still, I'm definitely interested in 78.6. So I guess I could update my fibs here a little bit and just say that 78.6 is basically sitting at $1, which is where I was originally long from 99 cents. So this one I'm basically willing to buy, even at that gap here at $1.22 and below. So somewhere around 78.6, I want to buy this one. BTCS. And then Galaxy's another one. This is Mike Novogratz, sort of billionaire trader guy and digital asset trading desk. They do like OTC stuff. They like market makers, and I think they even run funds. You know, they invest people's money into crypto. But anyway, super crypto bull, Mike Novogratz. And this one does have a nice bottom. You know, basically he's W'd it right off of 88.6 of the old range. This one has shit tons of upside. So basically I'm, you know, just same as my altcoins here. Anytime they can come back down to that W level, that's a sure level that I'm interested in. That's 581. And if you draw fibs in 78.6, that would be probably right in the same spot. So 78.6 is 527, so a little lower. So anywhere around there. Definitely think about this one. If you're going to be doing this whole crypto stock thing, I would definitely think about this one because this is, I mean, this guy's a shark trader, right? Like if you can, like, if he's going to put a bottom in his own stock, it's probably going to be around 88.6. And sure enough, he did put a bottom in at 88.6. And it looks like it has the same kind of like 10x ability here. I mean, if you buy at $5, I suppose 10x is to a new high here. So not as much upside as those miners, but still looks a lot more bottomed, I'd say, than those like ones that have more downside risk, like Riot and Mara. They had that kind of V bottom with the gap down there that seems like a little bit less of a stable bottom, whereas this thing looks like it's just got W's all the way through there and probably come back down against those levels somewhere and bounce. Does kind of have an M working here, so you can kind of see the rollovers sort of in progress here. Didn't dump like those miners though. To be fair, all the Bitcoin mining stocks dumped pretty hard the last couple of weeks. And they even led Bitcoin now that I think about it. That's kind of interesting. If you like maybe go back to Riot, for example, and just say that it like 3-bar fractal, you know, I guess right about the same time as Bitcoin hit 61.8. I was thinking maybe these led a little bit. Anyway. Oh yeah, Andreessen Pump serves as chief financial officer at Polymath Research. Melanie Pump. Anyway, so what do I have any more I could talk about here? Well, I'll mention Coinbase. I'll save Coinbase for last, and I'll just before Coinbase Well, this can, I actually don't even know what this can is, and I don't own it. It is crypto related. I don't know what they do. Chart looks kind of ugly to me, but I'm watching that one. And then my sort of Hail Mary long shot punt, low liquidity piece of shit is this BitK. They're like a digital asset company. And I love this chart. I mean, this is a weekly chart, and now it has a W in. And there's a shit, that's 50. This is in Canada, so it's a 15 toonies or loonies or whatever they call them. Not even, because it's less than $1. It's 0.15. I guess a toonie is a toonie 2 Canadian bucks. I guess I don't know what it is. Must be. This thing's only 15 cents, but this one's, I don't know anything about this thing. Done limited research. I do know they have 21 million shares out, which I think is cool. I just see this nice rounded out bottom and a W here, and I'm just gonna slowly kind of nibble my way in. I already took a nibble at 15 cents. It doesn't trade very much. I mean, how much volume is traded today? Let's see. Like, this thing's not very traded, so you can't. It's sort of like, I'm not looking to sell on like a small move. I'm gonna just buy a little bit of this, and hopefully when the whole cycle kicks off and we're in a rip and bull market, this thing, will be killing it because it has tons of upside here. But I mean, just today alone, how much volume is it traded? It's like traded 66,000 shares today. So, I guess only about $9,000 volume. So like, it's not like, you can't just go like, I don't know how much is even on the offer here, but it's just take your little nibbles and then just hold it for down the road and see if this thing can get its act together. It might be a complete scam, but just by looking at the chart, hopefully you can see that 38.2 is 90 cents, so it's like pretty good move just back to 38.2. 10x is like back to 50% level. Well, that's not true. 10x is like back to like reload zones. But this is just sort of like my Hail Mary. Like I said, I'll probably just kind of dollar cost average this one for a little while and just see if it can get going. It sure looks like a nice chart. Oh yeah, Polly did get delisted from Coin. Melanie Pump got... I said this probably on the show. I have some polymath from an airdrop from a long ass time ago, like from 2017 or whenever they first ICO'd. And then I did see that it, recently got delisted from Coinbase, along with a couple other ones, like this Monavale got delisted, which I was kind of bummed about. I kind of like God, Monavale's not anywhere now. It's only on like DeFi. Yeah, they delisted this one too, but at the same time. Anyway, that's my spiel on crypto stocks. I guess I don't know. Hopefully, hopefully at least those are the ones I'm hunting. And the short way of describing it was, I could have just said I'm going to hunt 786 basically on all of them, and make sure my bids are working and try to take advantage of any kind of dumps that might happen if Bitcoin can pull back a bit. And I think I have a longer list of names too that I can go through a little bit more, but these are the ones that are sort of on my radar. And maybe I'll talk about, well, I don't know if anybody has anything they want to specifically look at, I can just throw them in the chat and I'll look at them. Otherwise, I'll maybe talk about Solana here a little bit. I mean, I'll start by looking at Solana and just, I guess the question would be, is the Solana meme coin rally still on? And it seems like it kind of is, but running out of steam. But I will just mention that there's an M in Solana. So like a lot of these, or many of these sort of bigger coins are starting to show up with a little bit of daily M's. And I think Solana has a daily M. So any sort of moves up to the top of the range are shortable. I think OBV's like not really broken, but could potentially M out here. It does have some like little M's here that weren't in divergence, but so it's just hard to see what, this could turn into a bull flag, but for the moment, it kind of looks like Solana might have to pull back a little bit. And of course it did freaking rip. I mean, there's, it was just straight up here. So I suppose going by the same logic of like reload zones and stuff, can't really be a buyer of Solana until quite a big pullback. It's got to come off like 50% or more. It's just a question of, does it break here? I don't know if it's really broken here yet or not, but I suppose a positive Solana would be positive for these meme coins, but it does kind of feel like they're getting a little bit towards the end. I mean, I guess I could just share the ones that like kind of have the thumbs up from the group. And then some of the newer shit coins. Like today there was I mean, I don't have anything brand new. Like, what's the last one I took? Well, this rock was the last one that I took from. This was from today. There was a couple good calls today. Like, I think it was Leon. There was like this Tupac, and then one other one that were pretty good. This one is called ASAP Rocky. And nonetheless, it was like back here newer. I took a chance here and got blown out. And then now it's actually starting to bottom. So I'll be watching this one. We're kind of, these things can make some pretty epic moves. Like, I mean, this is a 5-minute chart, by the way. So this was just today. This is a new issue on January 16th. And of course, they had the sort of first pump, and now it's come all the way back down against the lows. But even just like these moves here were pretty huge, like that was, I don't know, like, was that a 10Xer? Jeez, I think it was 10X. Am I even reading that right? Jeez. I mean, these things are wildly volatile. So, of course, well, it was like, yeah, 600 or 700% move in that move. But what's my point here? I'll still take a shot on this, but I've been using the 21 EMA as my guide. And until I see like a W through it, like if I see this thing W out here, through that 21, kind of like that, then I'll be looking to buy the W. That's basically my goal with these that have like sort of completed the sort of rounded out bottom. And so I'm watching this one for later today. We'll see if it can get going. But I don't know from like I don't know if this one has the thumbs up per se. This was just a new one from today that somebody had talked about in our degen room. And of course, the degen room's like firing pretty hard right now. People are throwing in ideas like all day long. We've been trading the shit out of all these memes. And this was just one from today. Another one from today was this Tupac, which I missed, but I guess overnight for me, these guys were trading this one in the first move. This is a 4-hour chart I'm looking at right now. So if I go down to like a 15-minute chart or something and throw my 21 EMA on, like something like this, I'd be willing to take a shot again on, like, I just want to see a tight consolidation against the 21 and then a W through it. Whether that's on like the 5-minute, like 5-minute chart, it's like trying to turn here. But until if I see a W here, I might take a shot. And of course, I'm just going to try to, if that W comes in here at like 0.05, I'm just going to sell half on a double up here and then hope for a bigger move. So, but this one is a new one from today that I think looks pretty good here. I just not set up yet, ready to take another run here, in my opinion. And what was the other one? Julie or something? I don't know. I don't think I saved the other one. I'd missed that one anyway. It was from when I was asleep. They were trading it earlier. But so those are like an example of 3 new ones that might still have some life left in them, but you just got to patiently wait for real W's down here. And then some of the ones that are like a little bit more established that were just like, I'm trying to reload on Vaughn Speed, which is one of Carol's that he likes a lot. And I wanted to check in on that one really quick. Let's see here. I'll just find it. So this one's like, I guess, is it a little bit more blue chip? Like, I don't know if blue chip's the right word. But this one's sort of got the thumbs up from some of the group members. And, I mean, clearly, like, it's been around a little longer since, like, Christmas Eve, it looks like, and it had a pretty epic move in its first pump. I was buying it through here in this dip. Anyway, want to try to reload on this one. So I think, now I'm not really recommending anybody well, I'm not going to like create a trading plan for anybody. I don't know. If you're going to trade these things, you have to have your own strategy and plan and, figure out for yourself how aggressive you are. But me personally, like I've already been banging doubles out on this, and I don't mind. I'll consider this thing when it hits the 21 here and starts consolidating. And if it looks like it wants to take another shot here, I might take that. But that's not really the same kind of trading as like waiting for reload zones and stuff. It might be smarter to just, this is more like a pump chaser zone kind of thing. Like any sort of consolidation in the pump chaser zone would be like around here. Then you could suggest that this is like a higher low and this thing might be gonna, maybe go after the highs down the road. I think in general, I think it still could keep going higher. So I'm okay with buying like the dip, so to speak. But of course, if it loses the 38.2 pump chaser zone, then the reload zone's down here. Probably best to just wait for W down here. But Von Speed is one of the ones that like I'm sort of trying to accumulate and also just keep banging out doubles on. And these things are so volatile that's, you're like, it's basically like you're levered up, because these things will move 100% in like minutes. So like, it allows for the type of trading that I really like, because I can just not use a stop, basically, just like little lady kind of thing, but just basically use a risk to zero strategy and a sell half on double strategy, but the doubles come in fast, and then they have, this thing could go quite a bit higher down the road. So you don't really need, you don't have to use a stop, which is really nice for not getting shaken out of trades. There's no real incentive for me to sell at a loss here. I'm just going to, some will go to zero and some will go underwater and then come back around for me. Some will take off right away. But point being is you can bang out some pretty big moves because the volatility is so insane. But to be fair, you can get rugged too. I mean, like easily, I could see buying this where I was just saying in the pump chaser zone, and then it has to come all the way down and it goes 90% down from my entry. That does happen. So you can't just, you have to, this sort of shit isn't, well, it's just super risky. Let's just say that. But in general, this thing looks like it's making higher highs and higher lows, right? And I like the idea of buying pump chaser zones on a trending market. So anyway, that's Von Speed. That's just one that we kind of like. And then I suppose I have, I don't want to just, there was some big wins lately, but I don't know how helpful that is right now to talk about. But let me think of the ones. I'm trying to think. Here, I got my other screen up here. Well, like there's like Whiff or whatever. Dog. These are sort of more like the sort of more established meme coins. Like this was one of the big runners, and this one's kind of funny because this whole wick to the upside, somebody fat fingered like a massive buy, like it was in the millions of dollars, which is crazy. Somebody like market bought and ran the price all the way up here. Funny thing is I was long from like right here, and I came back to looking at that. I was like out on a bike ride. But it was only like, probably less than a minute. Let's see, how long did that? It only lasts like a minute or two. I'm not going to go find it. That'll probably just waste time. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you can see how this is a minute chart. So it only lasted, 1 minute. But even just some of that's going to get eaten. I think that this is just like a foretelling wick telling us that this thing has a lot more room to go up. So, that doesn't mean necessarily go and buy it right here at the highs. Clearly we haven't really taken out this high in earnest yet. And I don't like buying it right here, but pullbacks against the 21, I think are, basically buy the dips. If you can draw like pump chaser zones off of this range, we'll just ignore that wick for right now and just think about like this sort of 26 to 22 cent area. You can see the 21s like pointing up and going right into it. So basically any W's right there. And this is a daily chart. So, you could zoom in a little bit, but just kind of using that as that zone somewhere around 22, 23 cents. Like I could see taking a shot there and just trying to sell half on a double as we move up to 46 and try to get involved with this with a free position. And 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 then I'll just end with this saying, as long as this looks generally positive, I think all of these Solana meme coins have a chance. I like Carol's thinking that this is one of the sort of barometers of the market right now. So I like, so Whiff and Von Speed, those are two like sort of better thought of ones that we have right now. And then what's another one that I'll just cover one more maybe that's sort of like the, well, Popo has kind of been, Popo's one that we've been trading, and Carol really liked it, and then I know Paul really likes it now, and had a really nice pump last week. And now it doesn't look like it's ready to go. So this might be one to watch. Like, I mean, I think it has the thumbs up for being a pretty good project. Like, they're working on it and they have a bunch of stuff planned. And I think Carol thinks it's pretty good, pretty well run meme coin, and probably has a chance in the future. But when I see like the 21 pointing down like this and these M's, basically just emming out, it's going into a downtrend. So I think it's too early to like buy the dip per se. It's probably better to, hunt super stinky if you want. Like, you could draw reload zones off of even the original lows and start looking at like 78.6s down here against like that where the pump started last time. And I think it pumped on some influencer tweeting it or something, but point being is, while we like this one, I don't think it's the good time to be stepping in just yet here. So at least wait for a W or something. This is a 4-hour chart, so this one's already been around for a little while, and it's just kind of, it's got to find a new bottom. So I like Popo, but it's not really in a good place to be hunting just yet. And you can go hunt NFTs too. Paul's saying he's got like a bunch of Popo NFTs. I guess I don't have Tensor up. Let's look at the Popo NFTs for fun. So I know they pumped pretty good in that pump. Looks like they're sitting at 0.75 SOL now. So they've backed off a little bit. So yeah, the Popo NFTs are kind of emming out too. So maybe if you're hunting NFTs, you could draw some reload zones off of the floor price of the NFTs for that matter, and hunt cheaper. Sorry, Paul. Although Paul's in off the bottom. He's like, he bought these things like dirt cheap. I haven't done any NFT trading per se, or at least not very much, but I've been getting more and more interested in these, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I have seen some that have caught my eye, and actually these inscriptions kind of, maybe somebody else that's smarter can look into these a little bit more. But like, I was watching these, I mean, these are inscriptions, so they're like, images that are stored on the blockchain. And like, I saw, what was the one I was looking at yesterday? The chart looked awesome. I want to see if I could find it again. Shit, I'm not going to be able to. I don't remember which it was, but man, some of these things look kind of interesting when you look at the charts. Like, I mean, this, just this is an example, like down in here when those W's are coming in, that seems pretty good. I don't know. So I'm watching these too. I like that Tensor has these charts. You can kind of see how the price actions kind of happened on these. So maybe I'll even be doing some more NFT trading in the future here. Anyway, that's a sort of my general Sol meme coin overview. I guess it's not super, maybe it's just helpful, maybe not. I think if I was going to give a buyable opportunity, like maybe Solzilla is kind of setting up again. Let's look at that one. Yeah, so like this one was, I mean, epic when one of my first Solana trades, actually. And so this one, I don't know if they've got anything going for them still, but you can see the W's coming in here. This is a daily chart. It's trying to W right off 88.6. So maybe a close above the 21 here, and just stronger W close. And I would be interested in Solzilla. And other than that, man, I can't say that I actually have like other buys right at this second. I did sell some doubles today. I got one on like Catman and Solana, which this one too, which it's taken off pretty good now. So I banged a double out on this one today. but a lot, if it looks like this, can't really buy this. So, you know, I got to wait for the next consolidation period and try to buy the next breakout. Looks like somebody wants to look at CHZ, so we can look at that. Aditya. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. I don't mean to. Well, look at that really quick, and then I'll probably get closer to wrapping it up here. I'm a little talked out today because I did do a class earlier as well. Look at CHC, and I don't know. I wish I had one good meme coin to show you guys. Well, I will mention I like this fentanyl. Let's look at that one. Been kind of waiting on this one to turn too, and it was trying earlier. See, like this is, I suppose this is kind of a good example of, you know, it did turn here. Nice W came in. Maybe you could have gotten doubles off if you were buying. Yeah, I suppose if you were, you know, if you'd hunted down in here, you could have banged a double in that first move. And then it continued to W out and was trying to get going and start trending higher. And then it just lost it. So now it's kind of like reset mode. Yeah, I don't like that the 21 EMA is starting to point down again. So it kind of has to like set up a new W here to be viable in my opinion. But I'm just kind of watching it here. And if I did get that, the same thing, like as the 21 just sort of like kind of does that, and this thing eventually just starts Wing through it, then that's where I'm going to try to take a shot. Just like right here, like I would have think, you know, I would have been okay with, especially like the retest of the 21 there after the W had basically, you know, it basically at least gone after the high and made this wider W. I'm okay with that. And even that, I'd still just be long and it'd be sitting basically right where, you know. But to be fair, this is kind of looking like ME, and it looks like it could easily start trending down here. So just got to wait for the next W. But I, this one's completely ridiculous. It's called like fentanyl, but then the real name is like Chinese Communist Dragon. And so anyway, the shit coins are flying still in general, so that's probably not a good sign for the broader market. Maybe another. I mean, this one's not particularly flying right here, but they've been in general ripping. So maybe we're getting a little bit towards the end of this current rally. I mean, you know, again, Bitcoin hit 61.8, got rejected. The meme coins have been pumping for over a month now on Solana, so maybe we're getting a little overextended for sure. Who creates this stuff? Yeah, Andre, I don't know, man. Just but that's the thing, is anybody can make a coin and it'll be trading on Solana. Like, I don't know the exact details, but it doesn't seem too hard to like get your shit up on a DEX. And there's like thousands being made a day, and most of them just like this rock, for example. I mean, if you just, it's like if you can't get in early enough, like if you can get in early enough in this first impulse move to get a trade-off, then great. And maybe you have some sort of reason that you knew about it before everybody else, but it's pretty hard to catch that first move. And then once that first move, it seems like now, like, you know, maybe now that we're a little more into the end of this move, more of them seem to crap out like this right away than actually start trending higher. I mean, this thing did kind of, I mean, this is a 5-minute chart, so it spent like an hour going up, or not even 30 minutes. So it shot up straight for 30 minutes and then it crapped out. So that wasn't much of an uptrend out the gate. And a lot of them are seeming to do this. Most of them. I mean, like this Catman was one from yesterday that did start working. You can see how they ripped it up, brought it all the way back down, and then now it's getting going. So that's why hunting that second pullback, trying to get the next move, is probably a pretty good way to go. So this was Carol's call from yesterday. I'm just kind of copying Carol when I can, to be fair. Or like Shrimple was one from yesterday that I missed. Same kind of thing. Like this one had a nice impulsive move, but then just crapped out. And of course now it's trending down in my opinion. So we are at 88.6, which is great, but it looks like it's just trending down. So I'd rather wait for a W to do anything there. That's kind of the state of them. They seem to be crapping out pretty fast. So it might be best to just wait for the second pullback to really go hunting. It looks like this Tupac kind of popped a little bit since yeah, so like this is an interesting one. So now Tupac hasn't really W'd yet, but you can see the consolidation around the 21, and it could become like a taller W if it takes out that high, but that's the exact kind of area that I'm interested in. It's probably like 88.6 now off of the lows. Yeah, you can see 88.6 is basically where price is sitting. We're starting to get above the 21 here, and the 21's nice and flat. This is the kind of thing that I could see taking off right here. It'd be nice to see a tighter little W, but nonetheless, this is the kind of area I'm interested in these. And of course, if you buy this thing at like 05 here, the double's just, it could double here in the next few minutes easily. It's just a test of these lows here, basically popping up into that double. So that's pretty interesting to me. I'm not in this one yet. This was one of, I think, Julian's calls earlier or something. So anyway, I like that one. I'll leave that. I'll end with that one for my Solana ideas because that one looks pretty good. Pretty low liquidity at 11K, and it's a tiny market cap, 52K. So it's very new, and who knows if they're, I don't know. It doesn't, I'm not going to get into their website and Twitter and all that stuff. You guys can go look that up yourselves. And we've been using like the rugcheck.xyz site to do some analysis on these, and it's not really my strong suit to analyze them. I'm just sort of just being a stupid trader and willing to step into the ones that look like they have momentum behind them. And like this one does look like it's trying to turn, so could easily crap out, but it looks pretty good. So look at CHC. Reminds me of Reddit with trading. Yeah, fair enough. Of course, Redcoin. That was the first altcoin I ever bought was Redcoin, Reddit coin. And it was on Cryptsy, which is funny because like I wasn't really like this was in 2016 and or 2015 maybe, I don't even know. And I wasn't a trader or anything. I had bought Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff, and then I had heard about altcoins, and I went on to Cryptsy and I bought Redcoin, and then like kind of forgot about crypto, or just didn't pay attention to crypto, especially not altcoins, for a while. And then when I went back to log into Cryptsy, it had been it had gone under or whatever, because that was I don't know if anybody was around back then, but that was Vern, the Cryptsy guy, and he got in some trouble. I don't remember the exact details, but nonetheless, that was my first exchange that went under on me. And I wasn't even like a trader. I was just sort of fucking around. Came back to find my my Redcoin was gone, and there was like no website at all to log into. I don't know is Redcoin still around actually. Oh, look at this Redcoin on Bittrex. Oh yeah, there's old Redcoin. Damn, look at what it did too. And I don't know if Bittrex is even in business now. I don't know what's going on with Bittrex. I thought they maybe even Bittrex Global was going under. But the charts are still in TradingView. That is funny though. That was the very first altcoin I ever bought, if you're excluding Ethereum. CHZ looks like a Head and Shoulders. Kind of an ugly head and or like a steep Head and Shoulders, but nonetheless, I see a Head and Shoulders bottom here. It's kind of like this. I mean, it's not perfect, but that's what bottoms look like, and clearly it's breaking out this week when a lot of altcoins aren't doing so great, I suppose. I guess it's kind of a mixed bag with altcoins. Some are up and some are down. I mean, I don't know if you can buy this. Well, you can do whatever you want. I don't think buying it right here is my favorite. It's kind of chasing it a bit right here. Maybe I can find it somewhere with a little more history. Oh, I was looking at the futures contract. That's why. Yeah, this looks more like the whole chart. Yeah, I don't know, actually. I mean, first of all, I just draw fibs off of the lows there and know that we're probably down below 88.6. Looks like we're right at 88.6. So just from a basic last cycle location, it's not that bad of a buy, actually. Kind of chasing it off the lows a little bit here. I guess it's kind of doubled, basically. Yeah, like the lows are at 5.5, 05.5, and it's sitting at 10. So it's basically doubled off the lows right now. I don't really love the idea of just chasing in right there, but to be fair, it's still at 88.6, and there is not really a weekly W, but a head and shoulders bottom, and OBV just kind of V bottom. So I didn't see any divergences here on the move to new low. So OBV hasn't really supported the trade so much, just kind of V bottomed, and now it's taken off, which is cool. It looks like RSI didn't go into divergence either. Yeah, we made a new low in RSI, but we did W through the moving average, and so there is like W confirmation on RSI, and also just a check of the moving average and the 50 line and takeoff. So I think it has a chance of just starting an uptrend here for sure. Kind of looks like it could easily be like a THG kind of trade for us. It looks like it could easily be going into a trend, so you could go down lower time frames and maybe find a THG to take along there, because it looks pretty strong. The only thing is, as like a sell half on a doubler kind of guy, it still seems pretty reasonable actually, but I'd rather wait for the next pullback, so like for an investor, I'd probably just draw some fibs here and just kind of hunt like 7075 for right now. Some sort of dip here. I don't think I have like THG up on the screen here. Let me see. I suppose I could just show you guys kind of, maybe we could look at a THG for that. Just for fun, because it looks pretty strong. So like this would be a 5-minute chart, but it's a little late for, sure, it just hit buy levels, but at the same time, I don't know about chasing that move. It's kind of missed it already. A nice place would have been right in here when it was firing, just as an example of what this setup would look like. You could have been stepping in on that signal there. And even if you had your stop right there, you're probably looking at 12-1 right now. So clearly, like, this one's kind of nice because you can see like the trend had started creeping up here, and then it actually, didn't quite break out there. So it might have been a little aggressive to step in right there, but it was starting to trend up. Suppose you could have hit it up here even, and you would have maybe almost gotten stopped out. That seemed pretty reasonable, but now I don't know, maybe a little late right now. Probably got to wait for it to consolidate a little bit more. There's no reason why I couldn't keep cruising, but I don't know. It seems a little late to me for that one, or where it is now. Anyway, I guess CHZ is the only request I got. I suppose if I wanted to talk about some regular altcoins really quick, I am also trying to bid on just the boring old dino coins or whatever you want to call them. But I would probably say like a couple that I had on my radar were like I've been trying to buy this silly Gods Unchained, and it doesn't want to come down quite enough. Yeah, so I'm still trying to buy Gods Unchained somewhere. Basically the same thing I've said over and over again recently. Anytime there's a weekly W and price is coming back down into that W level, and if that W level's around 78.6, in this case it's a little bit more close to 61.8, but still the W in, if the retest of the W is in the reload zone, basically that's kind of that's where I'm going to be looking. So something like this, I'd be happy to hit 61.8 here, which is the W breakout. And then I also have some bids a little lower at 78.6 and 88.6, just to see if I can get any kind of dump down in there. Because I'm not really in a rush here. You can kind of see the dip happening, and I bet you there's a pretty good chance that the reload zone gets tested on this. And I also think there's a pretty good chance the bottom will come in right around 78.6 at 17 cents. So like there's one I'm bidding on. I think like Spa is another one I'm bidding on. Same kind of thing. This one already has an M coming down into 78.6 at 0049 against the W. I guess I think I talked about this one on Sunday already. What's another one? Well, it's some of my recent calls. Like I guess this FIS is still kind of just sitting here. This is one from the last week or two that I had sort of highlighted this W breakout. This one hasn't quite got going yet, but it's just sort of bouncing around the the level. So I still like that one somewhere in there around 36 cents. What else I got? I don't know. I feel like I've talked about a bunch of names. If anybody has anything to look at, then I will. Otherwise, I'll probably start wrapping this up here. I'm getting on an hour and 20 minutes. See if I can think of any viable names here. There is actually like this. Why did audio? I noticed audio. I just saw it in my list here. This thing came all the way back down against the range. Like it was trending nicely higher, and then something happened here, which I guess was a couple weeks ago. But they dumped this one all the way back down. So this, like, I like this one. It doesn't really have like a real W bottom working at all, though. So I don't think it's quite ready. I started, I got a double in this move, and then I've just been buying. I kind of talked about this one a lot in the past. It's sort of a SoundCloud kind of decentralized SoundCloud type thing, and I just sort of like it. I don't know what the coin does, or I don't know exactly the tokenomics or anything, but I just have sort of liked this one. So I was just kind of dollar cost averaging in through here, and kind of will continue to just try to sell halves on doubles, but keep nibbling. And location wise, it looks okay. No W's yet though, but it did pull back, and fuck, man, it has a shit ton of upside. I mean, this thing is 10x back to 38.2. So, maybe this becomes the middle of the W down the road. I could easily see this just turning into like a big wide W like that. But either way, it's pretty cheap looking right here. Came all the way back down against the old lows, and even came back down against the recent old lows and held those lows. So I don't know. I like the looks of that one. It looks cheap. Audio is number one in music on Masara. Yeah. And it's cool. I mean, you can go search. If you search hard enough, you'll find my song that I wrote for Brian. I'll have to find that one day. I don't want to go hunting for it right now. I can't remember. But I wrote a TRI song that's up on audio. So. Anyhow, as always, I hope I said something helpful. I don't know. I'm just up here rambling on, trying to do my best just to kind of keep everybody on track for the upcoming bull market that I hope is coming soon. And I think everything's on target everything's on track to suggest that there's probably going to be a generally favorable market going forward. I don't know. I think really it just comes down to whether or not we truly get a chance to load up on altcoins again. And if that opportunity comes, then I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I could just point out a couple more, just just to make my point. You can kind of see the dip starting to set up. Like this is pure PYR, and I could pick up, pull out any of them. This one doesn't really have an M, but you can still see that, it definitely took some hits here the last couple of weeks, and it's not too far of a stretch to just think that this green box will get tested. Right. So that's just the context you want to keep this in. Like, I'll repeat again that I'm like in buy the dip mode. So my general conviction is bullish. Like I'm a crypto bull for the rest of the year, and I'm going to buy the dip. But my version of buying the dip isn't necessarily what other people might think of buying the dip. I mean, when I say buy the dip, I'm talking about trying to buy in good, nice, sort of shark levels, pro trader levels, which in this case is 61.8 and below, almost, in every case. And when the reason I'm a bull now is because of this. Like, look at this. This is a bottom, right? This sideways channel here, basically was the place where the smart money were like, okay, we're going to start buying back all the coins we sold to the public up top, and we're going to put the bottom in here. And they've just been quietly accumulating. You couldn't find a better chart to describe this accumulation year. I mean, that was May 2022. So we put in like a capitulation low in June of 2022. And then, basically for more than a year, all the way to, we broke the range in November of 23. that's the accumulation year that we talked about all last year. And now we've broken outside of that range. And so any tests of the, like sort of the, even the upper side of that little range, that sideways consolidation, that's like support now. So buying the dip is green boxes here against the previous W's. That's a great one. So any dips into that green box are buyable in my opinion. And I'm not really thinking about crypto going into a bear market here. I mean, of course it could or something, you know, of course everything could go to hell here, but my general thinking is just, is that we're going to put in a higher low somewhere over here. So I'm going to try to buy that. And you can just kind of see them setting up. I mean, I don't know, pick a different one. ZRX already almost down to that level. The W breakout level is basically just right below where price is now. So it's already almost buyable at 78.6. Magic was a pretty high flyer. Yeah, this one's still ripping. So you still have some that are very much still in uptrends. This thing has not even started to break yet. Kuji was another mega high flyer. So yeah, but look, that's an M. I mean, to be fair, there's a big M right there. So yeah, it's got a lot of work to do to come back down to reload zones. But I mean, even that, can you see this thing at $2.30 or below here in a few months? Yeah, pretty easily. Does it come all the way back down to this W breakout level? It could. I mean, that'd be like the sniper level right there. So anyway, it kind of looks like the altcoin dip is coming. And it might be your last chance to buy these. So just get ready to buy that dip if that's something you're interested in. And of course, that's the whole purpose of me talking on YouTube is just to, well, for myself and for all of our group too, just to kind of keep our head in the game, keep watching, keep working together to get our lists sorted out and figure out what we want to buy. And then just make sure we have our bids working. So when these dumps happen, we'll actually get filled on them. Cause like that peer, for example, just going back to it, like there might not be a lot of time it spends down here. In fact, it wouldn't be the first time. It might just come down into those sort of mountain man levels and then turn around and rip. So keep your eyes peeled. What's Andre saying? Please post. Oh yeah, I gotta, what did I call that? See if I can leave you guys with the, I don't remember the name of the I don't know. Where's their website here? Audius, that's what it's called. Yeah, audius.co. That's right. See if I can find this. Oh, I don't even know. Well, their website doesn't work. That's funny. It won't let me. I'll start listening. Let's see if I can remember offhand. I might have called it. Can't remember what my profile is. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, Feigen song.
Hit rewind button. Hit play button.
I hope you guys can hear this. I think you can.
That was it. Nice. Nice.
Same shit, different pile. Same shit, different pile. Do you really want to mess with these guys?
That was it. Nice.
Like a stone cold monkey.
That was it. Nice.
This is just ridiculous.
That was it. Nice.
This is just ridiculous.
That was it. Nice. That was it. Nice.
All right, there you have it. Oh wait, shit. Sorry, that's probably loud. Anyway, that's the Feigen song. I forgot about that. So yeah, there's my shill for Audius. Anyway, I think that's it for me today. I don't know. Hopefully I said something of, oh, look at this Tupac now. See, this is that W that I was talking about. I mean, it hasn't truly broken out yet here, but if it takes that little W out, that's the exact kind of W I'm talking about along the 21 here. I feel like when those happen, it's like kind of like a make or break it thing. Like it's either going to go or not. Obviously, that you could say that about anything, but you know, this is sort of the green light for it to start breaking out and trending higher. So maybe I'll keep an eye out on this for the next few minutes and see if that can do that. Maybe I'll go buy some Tupac. I'll post that on Discord too. That song. And I'll just I guess I'll just end with saying that well, I guess for the, you know, Tuesdays is our day for the public in general. We start with Stefan at the London session. He does a live scalping session on YouTube where he's basically just day trading. Anything from crypto to the S&P 500 he likes. Maybe a little bit of NASDAQ even, but he likes to trade futures a bit, and then also the Binance futures. So that's during the London session, and then by the New York session, we just we live stream every day, Monday through Friday during the New York session for also not just only scalping, but of course most of the traders in there are kind of day trading or at least lower time frame trading. So we're kind of general focuses on those type of setups, and lately, of course, a lot of meme coins like the ones I was just showing you, which I think fall into scalping, to be honest. And then on Tuesdays, we open that up to anybody that is in our Discord. So you can go to cryptotradersarena.com and join our Discord if you're not already in there. And Tuesdays, you can join in on that live stream. And then later in the day on Tuesdays is this show that I do here at 2 o'clock, well, my time, right at the New York Stock Exchange close. And so keep an eye out for us there on Tuesday. And I guess I already showed the website, but you can always go to cryptotradersarena.com. And yeah, there it is. Join our free Discord and hop in. We are trying to refine that a little bit. And, you know, I suppose our whole goal in general is we're trying to simplify this sort of journey to learn trading in a way that like we can onboard people quickly and efficiently, so they can just get to a place where they're executing. That's what we're all trying to do, is just get better at executing trades, actually taking trades in the market. So we are trying to work on ways to make this as smooth as possible, so that a new person could jump on, kind of learn the basics, and then start their own personal journey of trying to get good at this, because the only way you can do it is just through practice and getting repetition in. I mean, it's the same as like anything. Like you got to take your reps, you got to get a bunch of trades under your belt, and after you've taken a bunch of trades, you start getting more comfortable. And of course, we try to do that without risking too much money early on. So, we're not like big fans of paper trading per se, but we're huge fans of taking small risk and trying to build a working strategy with like smaller trades, so that you're not blowing yourself up as you're going through the process of making a bunch of mistakes and correcting those mistakes. And so we call that the $100 challenge, but whether it's $100 or $1,000, depending on your personal financial state, the point is just trying to reduce that financial risk down to a small number. So you're still getting the experience of executing, but you're not blowing yourself up. And then if you can prove to yourself that you can double $100, then there's a good chance you could double $1,000. So, it's just a slow and steady process, and up in your position size as you get more comfortable and more consistent. And so anyway, we're just trying to build out this whole community in a way that just makes it the most efficient way of starting that learning journey. And we do offer our Capio 1 program, which will be starting up again soon here too. If you want to actually sit in a program with us and learn directly from us, then that starts up here in February. And if you want to just hang out and just sort of work with the group as a trader, then you're also welcome to do that. So the place to start is always our Discord. That's where all the action is. So please hop in and see us. And of course, if you're just watching us on YouTube, that's great. You can like and subscribe and all that stuff. I don't really do a very good job of shilling all that, but we do appreciate any subscriptions and likes. We are trying to grow. So, you know, if you like what you're hearing from all of us, then please do that. And also we do keep, you know, Paul's making a show 5 days a week for his daily plan video, which just highlights trade levels for the day. That's usually around the London Open as well. So you might check that out on YouTube. And then on Sundays, of course, Paul and I are doing our crypto show too there at 16 UTC. So check us out then. And thanks, Andre. And I guess I'll just leave it at that. Shit. So take care, everyone. It's always a pleasure. And I will see y'all soon.